Hi guys, let me know if you can hear and see me. I think you should be able to. I shall check over on my other computer. Come on, what's going on? Come on, what's going on? It's working. What's going on? It's working. What's going on? Hear me in echo mode. God, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. Now I've lost myself. There we go. Should be firing on all cylinders now. Sound is clear, video is clear, brilliant, fantastic. Thank you, my producer, Chris C84. Absolutely fabulous to see you on the channel. Thank you so much for everything you do. And big loves and thank yous to all of my moderators. Absolutely awesome job that you do. I wouldn't have the patience to do it. So I'm going to quickly go through the chat, see who is with us this evening. Okay, the Witchy Goths here. Pete, hello. Are you going to be the chopper to chop off their head? Strange. I was watching, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie The Witch with Nicolas Cage and Ron Perlman in. I watched it last night. I'd never seen it before. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. And they were chopping off heads of these monks that had been taken over by demons. That was one part of it. Sorry, spoiler alert if you've not seen it. If you've not seen it, watch it. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. And Nicolas Cage is one of my favorite actors. I think he's very versatile and, you know, he's acted in many different roles. I think my favorite film of Nicolas Cage was Con Air. I absolutely loved Con Air. I thought it was brilliant. Sorry, sidetracked there. Billy, hi, my darling. How are you? Good to see you here. Stella Street, are you talking about Stella? Is that the Stella you're talking about? Hi, Elle. Thank you for joining. Lovely to see you. Looks like sci-fi is popular. I haven't checked yet. Chris, in your new producer role, could you produce me a pastrami sandwich and a Fanta lemon? I think that sounds brilliant, Pete. Yeah, I haven't had a Fanta for years. Did I say hello to Billy? I'm sure I did. Did I say hello to Billy? If not, Billy, you get a second hello. And then I did see Draka here somewhere. The insects are back out today. It's 10 degrees here outside. Inside, it felt like -10. Chrissy says, I would love to make him a pastrami sandwich and a Fanta lemon, but I'm fresh out of pastrami and Fanta lemon. You need to stock up better, Chris. However, I will be munching my way through a fresh cream scone shortly. I'll be round in 5 minutes. Put the kettle on. Put the kettle on. Hi, Elle. Lovely to see you. I'm sure I already said hello, but I'll say hello again. Hi, blah, blah. Thank you for joining. Hi, Draka. Lovely to see you. Draka and Alexis, I'm sure, is with you. Hi, Viper Scott, Alistair, as we know you. Lovely to have you. I'm not sure if you are just popping in or if you are moderating for other channels, but thank you for being here. Muchly appreciated. 4 pagans watching here tonight. Got your friends from the canal here with us. Hello, 4 pagans. Are you the 4 pagans of the apocalypse? Do you ride dragons instead of horses? We can have an earth, an air, a fire, and a water. So you will have the earth dragon being like a brown, goldy color, the fire dragon obviously being red, the water dragon obviously being blue, and the air dragon will be white. Now, I know we use often in witchcraft, we use yellow for the east, but we can also use white. And it depends on what you resonate with, to be honest. It's That's what I like about witchcraft, is you can substitute things if you want to. You can mix and match. You know, you don't have to stick with this book says this and this is what I must do. At first, I would advise you all to learn from a book or from a video, from a teacher, from a coven, from a high priestess, because you will get a better understanding of the craft. But always carry on and educate yourself afterwards. That is very, very important in witchcraft. Wit meaning to know, knowledge, and the craft being a craft of knowledge. And a lot of people I know don't necessarily want to have to pick up a book and study it and learn it. And some of us can't, you know, some of us are dyslexic, and I completely understand that. And I am going to be putting together a workshop that I will be doing online. There will be a fee because it will be quite intense, and you will get a copy of the manual. So it is based on something that I used to teach years ago. It's being updated at the moment. I'm updating it, obviously. Excuse me, I have just had some cheese and crackers and some grapes because I realized I hadn't eaten. And if I sat here with my stomach rumbling, you'd all be like, what the bloody hell is that? So watch out for that. That'll be a little bit later on this year. And if you are interested in that, let me know. So I've said hi to blah, blah. Hi, Kirsty. What is going on? I've got the live chat on. But I see hi, Kirsty being mentioned. Oh, I've missed you. There you go. I see Kirsty there. Who have I missed? Okay. Right. Depends what kind of soup you're making, Elle. Are you making soup? Can you replace I have newt with a garden pea? Absolutely. Absolutely, you can. I want to talk about spells. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to speak about them today because I do want to finish at 7 o'clock tonight, guys. But I think that, you know, spells are a very important part of witchcraft, very, very important. And it is something that we do need to focus on. But I think there are other areas that we need to look at before we come to spells. However, and I think I mentioned this in the last Witchy Wednesday that I did, a spell is as simple as a word, just one word, yes or no. So if somebody asks you a question, would you give me a lift to the shops? Yes, there you go. You have put your intention out there and you will give that person a lift to the shops. No, you've put your intention out there and you won't give that person a lift to the shops. As soon as we start thinking about a spell, something that we would like to do, let's talk about attraction spells. I'm just going to go through this briefly before I get on to Book of Shadows. So if we think about spells to attract money. Okay, we'll talk about money and finances because that's something that everybody at the moment could do with, except for the super wealthy who we won't discuss here. So you want to attract money into your life and you think, right, I need money in my life and I need to attract that into my life. Your words very simply could be, money, money, come to me. I call to you eternally. And that is your intention going out there. And you can repeat that as many times as you like. You can then build up on that intention with a spell. I would recommend getting something that's copper or some other sort of bowl. I say copper because copper, pennies, bronze would do. If you have a golden bowl, silver bowl, even better. And place a few pounds in it, maybe some £2, some £5 notes, some £10 notes, some 20s if you're lucky. And you can even use Monopoly money. If you've got Monopoly money, you can use Monopoly money. In fact, I have a Monopoly game. It's one of those travel ones. because I need money at the moment desperately. I'll explain that in a bit, but you can put that money in there. You can infuse it with things such as basil leaves, which draw prosperity to yourself. Peppermint as well, peppermint leaves or herbs, whatever you've got. You can infuse, put some crystals in there, citrine, any yellow golden crystals. So citrine, tiger's eye, calcite, anything that's yellow or golden, even pyrite. Hang on, I just want to check, see if it's still there. No, it's not. Sorry, I had a piece of pyrite on a, I've got a goddess candle statue there that I put the pyrite on, but I've realised now it's in my cupboard with, I've got a glass cabinet with all my crystals, my bigger pieces of crystals in. So you can use pyrite, you can use essential oils as well, essential oils for attracting money. Again, basil oil, peppermint oil, orange, very good for drawing positive energy to you. Lemon, think about the colors that they represent is the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. So anything to draw wealth to you. And you don't have to have a specific spell. You can just constantly repeat that, light a yellow, golden or green candle. Green is also money. We know it as greenbacks. You may want to use some incense, some sage to cleanse away negative energy and then to draw positive energy to you. And keep adding to that spell. Keep chanting that chant every day at a specific time. I would suggest midday, because when the sun's at its highest, which is what you can't see it at the moment, but midday is generally the sort of time that we would do a monetary spell because the sun is at its strongest. Sorry, guys, I've got something going on with my eye. Bloody mascara. So that would be a spell. Just a very quick explanation of one there. So it is a topic that I will be covering soon. Book of Shadows. I'm sure you've all heard of the term Book of Shadows. Anybody here used to watch Charmed? Sorry, guys, this eye is really, I'm guessing it's probably cat fur. The cats have been in my mascara. Oh, I hate it when I get bits in my eye. Do you remember Charmed? If you do, yes, you watched Charmed, Chris, when younger. Yeah, I know. It feels like yesterday to me, but it was in the 90s, wasn't it? I have the box set of the whole thing. I love Charmed. Absolutely loved it. Alistair, you saw it. Right, so they had a Book of Shadows, which was beautiful. And I wish that I had that Book of Shadows. But I've got a couple of my books of shadows off of the shelf. This one actually needs repairing. This is my first one. I'm not going to show you the whole thing. This was made for me by somebody, the book I bought, and the whole thing is full. It's absolutely packed full of spells, of rituals, of correspondence tables, of symbols, of photographs, of all sorts of things to do with witchcraft. That's one. This is my newest one, which is currently being worked on. Paragraphed. I'm not keen on how this works though. It opens because it's the pages are screwed in and it doesn't open so well, but hey ho, we learn. Then, where's my other one? A folder. You can use a folder, and this can contain all of your work that you do. You can see there, everything's tabulated into a list of what I need. So those are some ideas that you may want to have for your Book of Shadows. You can use a notebook. You can use pieces of paper and bind them together, put them in a crystal, you know, those clear plastic thingy-mabobs. You can even put one on your computer. You don't have to print them out. But what I do is I like to draw pictures and write by hand. I just find that that old-fashioned way of doing it focuses the mind a little bit more. Like I said before, witchcraft is all about knowledge. It's all about what we do and how we learn. But then you can also buy books that are already written for you. So Raymond Buckland's Complete Book of Witchcraft is pretty much a, sorry, I'm wobbling the desk, so the screen's wobbling. It's pretty much a book of shadows. So it has all the rituals in, loads of correspondences, questions that you can that ask and you can write down. So much stuff in this book. It is a little bit dated now, but Raymond Buckland was one of the original sort of Wiccan witches. He practices seax Wicca or sex Wicca. Then we have piece of rubbish there. Anna Murray. She's really brilliant. Absolutely love her stuff. Again, grimoire for the Green Witch. Now, I'm going to explain to you the difference between a grimoire and a Book of Shadows. But I suppose the two are interchangeable. So yeah, this has got all of the things that you will need for witchcraft. And she is brilliant. She is absolutely brilliant. I've tried to keep this book looking pristine because a lot of my books end up looking tatty because, you know, when you're working as a witch, you generally have some form of beverage with you. With my case, it was red wine. Used to be. I can't drink it anymore. And I'd end up spilling it all over the place. Spilling it and setting yourself on fire. Then I've got this book, which I actually like. I think he's very different. Gothic Grimoire by Konstantinos. This is sort of more vampiric witchcraft and magic. And it's quite dark. But if you want to have a closer look at that, I recommend this book. Read it years ago now. But again, it has spells in it. Does it have rituals in? Yes, it does. It has rituals in as well. Now, a grimoire should only have spells in it, whereas a Book of Shadows should have rituals in it. I just think that that's pointless. I think that they're both the same thing. However, I do keep some of my spells separate. This is an old spell book, so it's got a load of stuff in that a lot of it I've written myself. You can write your own spells. You don't have to wait for somebody else to write a spell for you. So I'm going to have a look because I see some people have joined the chat. So let's have a chat. Prue Piper. Oh my goodness, peeps. Chris, sorry, was it Chris? Who said Prue Piper? Chris. Prue Piper. Paige was one. She was the new one, the fourth sister. And it's going to drive me nuts. It's going to drive me nuts if I can't remember. Chat, please be careful. If you try getting Tiger's Eye, it's not as easy. Safety first. Yes, that's true. Be very careful. I love Tiger's Eye. It's mined in South Africa. And you can get some raw Tiger's Eye, which they often call cat's eye. It's sort of the same thing. You also get different colors of Tiger's Eye. You get the brown and gold, but you get red and you get blue as well. And then you get Tiger's Eye with iron ore in it too. And then you get Tiger's Eye, which is known as Hawk's Eye because it actually looks like an eye. I will do crystals on a separate thing because I could talk about crystals all day. So who's somebody having issues? Okay, if you are feeling a bit stressed, you know, you don't have to watch. But I'm not talking anything to do with politics. This is purely for witchcraft. So, yeah, no politics here. And Yeah. Okay, I think I've missed something here, but yeah, got upset earlier on. PS, maybe good for you. Yeah, always, take time out for yourself. I am actually going to be doing a live stream on Friday, and I do want to talk about mental health, but I'll be talking about ways that you can help yourself and ways that you can look after yourself and care for yourself. And you are more than welcome to join in then. Probably do a couple of meditations as well, some breathing work so you can help to calm down. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. There's no pressure on any of these things at all. Your own body and mind will tell you what is right for you, and that's what you need to listen to. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna skip over that bit. Yeah, sometimes taking a break from things is good. You have to. I know I watch a lot of content that can be quite disturbing along the psychological line and true crime, and it can be very upsetting. And sometimes I go, okay, I'm not going to watch it today. I'm going to put that aside. So I watch something stupid instead, like a haunting, which I've really gotten back into lately. Just, yeah, I love the ghosty stories. I do. Sorry, guys. Just having a look at the comments and checking to see if anybody else is here. The Necronomicon. The Necronomicon is something different. Hang on, I need to Google that now. Sorry, you've made me a fictional grimoire from H.P. Lovecraft's Call of Cthulhu mythos, so it's not actually a real thing. You will have also heard of the Book of Solomon, the movie that I was talking about earlier, The Witch with Nicolas Cage. I think it was 2011 that it was released. They had a Book of Solomon, which they were referencing as a book to exorcise demons, not exorcise them, exorcise them. But there's also the Key of Solomon, which I have shown you guys before, because it is one of my, just so you know, this is a part of a vertebra. I think it's from a sheep. I got it on the Yorkshire Moors years ago. I didn't unalive the animal. No, the animal, it was just the bone that was there. So yeah, there's the Key of Solomon, the king. Not the same thing. Not the same thing, but it is all about magical practice. But that is something that is so in depth that, it's something that you really need to study quite a lot. It's all sorts of sigils. I don't know if you can see that there, sigils and things that you would use in your circles. You can see on the cover, it's got all the sigils as well. So yeah, but it is, again, red wine. Oh, that could have been white wine, actually. But yeah, put you back there. Sorry, I hope none of you mind about seeing bones, but the animals were blessed. As I find things, I bless them. I say thanks to them. So that's what the Necronomicon is. Prue, Piper, Page, and it's the thing is, yeah, it's doing my head in. Elle, you were covering a topic once and wondered why. Why cover this? Should have just left the wrapper on. Love it. I've got the Necronomicon Book of Shadows. Was left in South Africa. That's interesting. That's interesting, Kirsty. Chat, to be honest, if things get too much for you in other lives, please take a time out. We like to keep them a safe space for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to do what's right for you. Put your own health first. I must admit, I've not been watching politics channels as much as I normally do. I've been focusing on other things, and it's okay to do that. Yes, peeps. Hello, peeps. How you all doing? How you all doing? Says Spike. And of course, we have Nessie. Really, Nessie. I really need to practice my Scottish accent a bit more because I'm not that good at it. Mithril, hello, my darling. Hope you are doing well. Hi, Indie Doc Mel. Thank you for joining. Lovely to see you here. I can make you laugh though. Bus driver went to fold out the ramp, part of the floor on the bus, with the doors shut. Tried to tell him, he went shh when he realised he was looking silly. Bless him. I saw dead people one night when I was in renal failure. 100% saw them. Freaky. I can believe you. I can believe you, Pete. I can believe you. I do think that as we are coming closer to crossing over, that we often do find people with us, people who've passed over with us. But that's again, a topic for another time. Yes, the hedgehog, this is Squeak. So we decided, because I know everybody's got badgers and stuff, and I had this hedgehog and I've had him for years and years and years, and since 1997. So it was decided that Squeak would be my my emblem, and he's also the squeaky tank because I don't have the animations. So he's my squeaky tank. He's my squeaky hedgehog. So when somebody tells a really dreadful joke, he comes out. We need a duck now, Witchy Goth. We do. I don't have one. So yes, I don't have one because, yeah, something I'll have to look at in the future. Maybe one will arrive. Mel, I'm happy I only sense family hundreds of years dead, but don't see or hear them. That stuff freaks me out. Might go see my relative in summer. He wanders Culloden. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So you're another Scots lady. We have lots of Scottish followers and I love it. I love it. And I've said to you guys so many times in the past that one day I want to move to Scotland. It's beautiful country, beautiful people, but I'd love to live in like a croft or a bothy, or but it would have to have extensions on because I need space, and with animals and sheep and perfect, and a cat rescue. Would have to have a cat rescue. Okay, right. Before I carry on, I do want to light a candle, and I'm lighting this candle for some of the awful things that have happened over the last few days. I'm not going to mention them, but I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about and referencing. But also, if you want to send a little bit of healing to yourself, to somebody you know and care about, or somebody in your life who needs a little bit of help, perhaps you want to remember an ancestor of yours, please do so. May the powers of the One, the source of all creation, all pervasive, omnipotent, eternal. May the goddess, the lady of the moon, and the god, horned haunter of the sun. May the powers of the spirits of the stones, rulers of the elemental realms. May the powers of the stars above and earth below bless this place and this time, and we who are with you. Goddess Brigide, I call on you. In this day and in this hour, that we may use your power. We send healing to those who need it. We remember our ancestors. We remember those that have been hurt or in pain. So mote it be. So, a lot of Reiki energy going through my hands at the moment to whomever needs it. News on yikes, Spike. He's in jail. What did he do? He got arrested last night for beating up the Finky Ferret Bros. They stole his ciggies and gold lighter in the Cross Keys Inn. Oh, poor McSpike. Poor McSpike. Well, Spike sends his love and hopes that he gets out soon. Otherwise, he's going to come and help him make a breakout. You've actually just given me an idea, Pete. Thank you. The creative energies have been flowing the last few days. Elle, I actually did that with quite a few people in the past. Yeah, that has been done in the past. There's a writer that I chat to. His name is David Harrison. He writes books on the Knights Templar and the Masons, and he contacted me way back in the days of the Johnson, and there was a whole sort of thing worldwide with witches to do the same thing. So yeah. Let's have a look. Next year, I felt a presence. Next time, I didn't. People around, but when people left, I did. Now, Alistair, that is interesting that you say that spell would backfire. Put your protection around you first. And you can see it. You can see that protection in several ways. And it's something that's good to do, actually, if you are going out into a chaotic situation, like walking down the street or into a shop, is to take a few minutes before you enter or before you leave your home and visualize yourself with protection around you. So create a bubble. And that bubble could be clear white light. I like to use sparkly pearlescent light. That's my favorite. Or you can see yourself in a crystal ball, or you can put mirrors all around you so that any negative energy that is sent to you is sent back to the sender, or you can use armor and shields around you. So you can, there are ways of getting around that. The law of three is Wiccan. And it comes down to how you create the spell, how you cast it, the words you use, and the intention that you use. So it can be an easy one to do is a freezing spell. Freezing spell is the easiest thing in the world to do. You take a jar, you collect your own pee, you write the name of the person that you want to freeze out of your life, you pop that, fold it and fold it away from you. Always, if you are trying to get rid of people, you fold the paper away from you. You pop it into the jar, put the lid on, pop it in the freezer, the back of the freezer. Just don't mistake it for something else. And just let it freeze. Just leave it there. That's it. Very, very simple, easy spell to perform. So you can do that. And it's making sure, it's like people who use Ouija boards. Now, I have Ouija boards. I've used them, never had a problem with them. And you put your protection around you first. You ask specific spirits to come in. You ask for protection of your goddess and god, your angels, whoever you work with. And you remember to figure 8 at the beginning with the planchette across the board. And when you're finished, you say goodbye. Because if you don't say goodbye, that spirit still sticks around. Supposedly, I've never had that happen to me. I have been using Ouija boards for years now, and I've never had anything happen. But again, I cleanse the board with sage. I light candles. I put myself into a protective circle. I have my crystals with me. So it's a lot of witchcraft is belief. It's the belief in these things. You have these things that you use in your ritual that you focus on and you've imbued with energy. So let's take a cauldron, for example. When you get a new cauldron, this one, I think I got this from Thornborough at some stage. When you get a new cauldron, you bring it home and you cleanse it and you dedicate it because it's new, but other people will have handled it. They will have had their hands on it and they will have thought, oh, this, I can use this for this and this for that. And those thoughts are then transferred into the molecules and energy that this is made of, because don't forget, everything is energy. I know we can't see it, but it's moving all the time. There is movement in this. It appears solid to us, but there is movement in it. And so you take it home, you cleanse it. You can cleanse it with various methods. I would always use earth, air, fire, and water. So I would probably put some cleansing crystals in it or stand it on some cleansing crystals. Clear quartz is the best for that. So that's my earth. Air, I would use my incense and a feather, waft it around, or sage, burn some sage. Water, little bit of salt water, little bit, because with it being copper, when you get copper wet, it turns green. Old church roofs were made of copper, and that's why they look green nowadays. Yeah, I've got a green bit there. I must have sprinkled something and not cleaned it off. But, things can look used after a while. And earth, air, fire, water. Fire, yeah, you can use a candle flame around it, stand a candle in it, whatever you feel is right for you. You may want to run it through a stream or use pure water. You can leave it in the moonlight when it's full moon and ask the moon to cleanse and dedicate this cauldron. So you've got a new item, you want to use it in your rituals and your spells, and you want it to do good. So you want it to be powerful and present with your spells. So I would say something such as, I'd use Ceridwen because she is the goddess of the cauldron. So I would ask Ceridwen to bless this cauldron, that it may imbued with your love, your energy, and your power, that all that goes into this cauldron release in flower. So mote it be. So, you can write a whole, written spell, make it as long or as short as you want. But again, it comes down to the intention. The intention is what's important when it comes to witchcraft. It's the intent that you put into it. Anything that you buy or are given that is going to be used in ritual circle or in a spell, cleanse it and give it an intention, because other people's energy will be on there. It's like something that I do, when I move house. I move everything out, and then the day after I will go in and do a physical clean of the house. But then after that, I will go around with my sage and I will bring all that energy that I created in there, that positive energy, back into me. So it's not being left there for somebody else. So I bring it back into me. When I go into the new home, I cleanse it with the sage, and that energy that's in me that's positive, I place it back into that home. You don't have to do that. You can do whatever you feel is right for you. That is just, what I feel. I know a lot of people leave rented property and they leave it a mess, and that's their choice. I'm not saying that everybody should do that, but for me, being a magical person, everything that I do is magical. So it is that sort of energy that I need to take with me. I saw there was a question here. I'm just going to go back up through the comments. Hang on a second, guys. Let's have a look. Somebody put up pajamas. Yeah. You'll pass that on to Yikes, McSpike. Thank you, Pete. Yeah, Alistair, it is, you have to word something in a way that is not going to come back at you, because there is karmic energy. People think, and this is a misunderstanding of karma, often people think that karma is something that happens straight away. It's not. It can take years. It can go on into your next life, or it could be from your past life. That's if you believe in past lives and future lives. You may not, but sometimes we think to ourselves that, somebody's done wrong to us, and we would sort of ask for karma to go back to them. And it may do straight away, or it may take years. So yeah, it's a difficult thing to think about, because we don't want to necessarily hurt a person, but if they've hurt us, you know, we can take that initial anger and send it like spikes. But I would say to you, hold off on that, and then, you know, keep those emotions, work with those emotions as you need to. Journal. I journal. And then if you feel the need to do something about it, do something about it when you are in a better frame of mind. Careful with spells, they can rebound by 3. Absolutely, they can. And that's why the wording is so important. So, for example, you cast a spell for abundance, but you've not made it clear what abundance you want. And I'm trying to think of the goddess of abundance is now. Abundantia. She is the Roman Celtic goddess of abundance. So you ask for an abundance in your life, and you just left it at that. You may get an abundance of bills. You may get an abundance of insects in your home. You may get an abundance of mice. If you change that and ask for prosperity and actual physical money using Fortuna, she is, I think, the Roman goddess of money. Be specific with what you are requesting. Always be specific. And again, using those by 3 so motet B is the way to protect yourself, but put that protection around yourself as well. So have that in mind when you cast a spell. Mel, it's a creepy place. My mates rough camp up there, all done up in old kilts and swords and stuff, and eat roadkill out of a big witch's cauldron. The women wear old frocks, etc. Sounds brilliant to me. I'd definitely go for that. Definitely go for that. I would imagine that you can pick up on a lot of spiritual energy there as well. And the thing is, if I went there and felt that there was a lot of sadness and people were sad, I would ask them if they wanted to move over to the light. You know, that because energies that have been slain in battle or in a way that is a negative way, those energies often stay here on earth and feel the need to do something, not necessarily take revenge, but they find it difficult to move on from what happened. Witchy, what's the main witchy holiday? Is there one? Samhain? Yes, it's Samhain. Samhain is our new year. I love Samhain. To be honest, I like all of them. But Beltane for the spring energy and the summer energy that's coming in. I love that gentle energy that we have. But Samhain is darker. It is it's spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. It is Halloween for those who, you know. So we practice darkness at that time. It is the time of year when we are going into the dark months. And the days are getting shorter, the weather's getting colder, food becomes more scarce, the animals need more protection. Often animals were slaughtered at that time so that the meat could be cured and would be used in the winter months. Animals would be brought into the dwellings of the people. A lot of people would stay indoors at that time and not venture out. It could possibly also be a time of sleeping. There was I know I talked about this previously. There was a group of people living in Siberia or somewhere in Eastern Europe who, I don't know if they still practice this, but they would actually go to sleep through the long winter days while it was dark. You know, in that far north, your days are pretty much black the whole time. And they would wake up a few times during the day and night to eat and have something to drink and then go back to sleep again, because they were almost like fasting, but because they were doing nothing, their metabolism actually slowed down. I know that I've got that written down somewhere, but it's not with me at the moment. So yeah, Samhain is the main one. It's the third harvest festival. It is when we celebrate the goddess going into her crone energy. So she's gone through the maiden at in bulk. She's gone through the mother in summer, and then she is now croning. She's passing through menopause as she goes into Samhain, into the colder months. And I work a lot with Morrigan. She is a goddess of, she's a warrior goddess. And I really recognize her at that time of year. But then after that, we start working with the Cailleach, who is a Scottish crone goddess. Pajamas, not sure what, PJ. Oh, okay, pajamas, no. You don't leave the door open, always close things. Absolutely, Alistair. You always close that door because, yeah, energy. Again, energy. It is something that not a lot of people are aware of. Hang on a second. Sorry, guys. I would say Samhain is sort of the equivalent of New Year's Eve. It is our New Year. What I like to do at Samhain is, let me see where it is in here. Every bit of paper in here has been used. That was a Lamas. Drawing down the moon. Also, so many spells and things in here that have been done. That's Beltane. It's Astara. We're coming up to Astara now on the 21st. Wow. That is from 2005. In bulk, where's Samhain? It must be in here somewhere. Must be in here somewhere. An old butterfly wing that somebody gave me. This lady, April, she gave it to me. Healing spell, Yule, where's Samhain? Nothing follows in any specific order. I mean, you can have a specific order if you want to, but I tend to just work as and when I need to. Here we go, Samhain. So the purpose of Samhain, and I'm going through my own notes here, is to honor the dead. Obviously, we remember our ancestors, much as we do at New Year's Eve when we sing Auld Lang Syne, Should Old Acquaintance Be Forgot, renewing our vows to the goddess and God, and reviewing the past year and a day of study. Now, traditionally, Wicca works in a year and a day of study. So if you want to dedicate your life to becoming a witch or being a witch or a Wiccan, you would then study for a year and a day. And if after that year and a day you feel that you are on the right path, you would carry on. A year and a day can also be used for a hand fasting as well. So a couple could be hand fasted for a year and a day and then see if they still want to be together after that, or they can be hand fasted for as long as the love shall last. Again, there are different wordings because we don't look at a hand fasting, which is the pagan marriage, the same way that a Christian wedding is, by the sense that, you've got to stay together forever. And, this is before divorce was brought into it with Henry VIII. But, you don't have to stay with that person. If the love's gone, the energy's bad. It's got all the things that I would need to do. And the invocations. And then there would be lighting candles. So you would do your invocations, cast the circle, call in the quarters, invoke your goddess and your god. And then I would start by remembering those who have passed over. So you can light one candle for them, or you can light a candle for each one. The choice is yours because, you know, it depends how many candles you want a light. Generally at Samhain, we have a massive fire because fire cleanses. And, you know, fire is just, I love sitting around a fire. I do. I think sitting around an open fire as a witch, or as anybody really, is a brilliant thing to do. It's just that connection with one of the elements. So looking over the past year to be aware of what your accomplishments were over the past year, you may want to take notes. And I actually do that, not in this book, but in another one, where I will look at, right, what were my goals for this year? What have I achieved? What have I not achieved? Is this thing that I wanted to achieve still something that I want to achieve, or has my goal or intention changed? What areas do I still need to work on that are important to me? And what areas can I just let go? And you can also think of things like, how have I treated people? How have I treated myself? How have I grown within witchcraft? You may want to keep a list of books that you intend to read that year, or a list of spells that you would like to cast, or rituals that you would like to practice, because it's not just rituals at the Sabbats or the Esbats, which is the full moon. So the Sabbats are your 8 major Sabbats through the year. They pretty much work every 6 weeks, marking the 4 quarters being, midwinter, midsummer, and the 2 equinoxes, which is what we've got coming up soon on the 21st of March, the spring equinox Ostara. And, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it will be the autumn equinox Mabon. And then you've got the other rituals, Sabbats, which are the main ones. These are actually the main ones, being Imbolc, Beltane, Lammas, or Lughnasadh, and Samhain. Those are the main ones. But, you know, you may find that you don't feel connected to a specific ritual. You know, I don't push myself. If there's something going on within myself and I don't want to do a specific thing because that energy is not right in me, I will leave it. I will maybe just light a candle and observe the date. You know, there is a sort of little ritual that I like to do for myself before I do a ritual. So I will have a bath or a shower, cleanse myself, prepare myself mentally, put on my makeup and the clothes that I want to wear, get all of my tools ready, my spells ready, write the ritual, you know, that'll all be done beforehand. And then you are becoming a vessel for the goddess to step into. So you are stepping outside of yourself and awakening yourself to that goddess, or God, if you are a man, energy. So it is, you know, it's a way of honoring that energy. And you are the goddess and you are the god. They're part of your higher self. Okay, I'm very new to witchy stuff. I just know I sense stuff. That's okay. That's okay, Mel. You know, you go with the flow. That's the beauty of witchcraft. You don't need to do it every day. You can read a little bit here, read a little bit there. And if you feel that you want to take it further and you want to, you know, move further with it, then you do that. That's, you know, completely up to you how you feel in your life. Feel, okay, this is interesting and I'm enjoying reading it, but it's not really for me. That's fine. Sorry, I'm just, hang on. Hey, hi, Salam. I'm not doing readings today, I'm afraid, my darling. If you would like a reading and you want to book one with me, if you can go to my email address, thewitchygoth@gmail.com, drop me an email and we can set something up, okay? Sorry, I'm just not doing readings today. Water, fire, and earth are my favorites. I'm less comfortable with air. Yeah, we all have our element that we connect to on a personal level, but some of them will feel uncomfortable to us. And it may be wise to sort of, you know, meditate and think about, why am I not comfortable with that element? What is it about that element that is worrying me, that is sort of niggling at me? I've been asked in the past, and I did quite a few invocations of elements up at Thornborough Henge. And the 1 year, Draka, I don't think you were there then. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. It was when we could still put the stalls in the centre of the henge. So this is a good few years ago now. And I had a stall, and I called on water, and that year it was just pissing it down. Absolutely. So I'd been, connecting with the water element. And I'm just like, please stop, just stop for the ritual. And it did. And it did. And when I remember calling on the element of water, and I do add humor into my rituals, because the god and goddess are, they've got senses of humor. They're not all serious. So I was stood there and I said, I call on you, the element of water, but please, can we stop with the amount of water that we're getting at the moment? Just not today. It doesn't have to be this whole serious thing. The goddess and God understand, they get it. They have the same sort of, they are us. So it could be with air that you may not, air is all to do with new things coming into our lives. So it may be that you are, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but it may be that you are a little bit wary of new things entering your life, perhaps new ways of doing things, or having to have an appointment or something set up. Air is the east, and it's the time of spring as well. So it may be that spring feels a bit uncomfortable for you. Just some thoughts as to why you may find it, that you struggle to work with it. Kirsty, when my heart stopped, I felt like I was being held in a cloud. Everything in the world was not important. To be honest, it was hard coming back. Yeah, I've heard that, Kirsty. I have heard that it's just like letting go of all the suffering and pain that we've gone through on earth, because there is so much stress. So much stress. Yeah, Mithril Fridays, but this Friday I'm actually going to be talking about mental health issues on a way of how we can heal ourselves. So I might do a few readings, but I will only be doing 5 readings. Because otherwise too many people want readings. So Salama, if you want to, 3 p.m. on Friday, so you would need to, that's UK time, so you would need to be here at that time to, pop a comment in, and I'll be working probably with my producer and asking him to just the first 5 people who comment that they want a reading, because otherwise I could sit here all day. Sorry. Indeed, Doc Mel says, I'm an energy karma believer. No, it's done it again. Sorry, guys. No person or God. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to believe in a god, a goddess. You can believe in energy, because when I work with witchcraft, for example, let's say Brigid, because we've just had it in bulk, so I'm still working with that energy at the moment. It is energy. So although we give her a name and we give her, properties that she works with, that she's responsible for, it is the energy of that goddess. Pete says, similar, I didn't feel any panic or urgency, just guessed I was unalive, and a weird feeling. I know what you mean. Being back was actually the weirdest bit. I can imagine, you know, that sort of lightness of spirit as you are leaving and you're back to this heavy body again. Okay, there's a whole conversation going on about Culloden though, so I'm just going to leave that. Mithril, I think it's having had asthma and now COPD. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Where's my inhaler? Speaking of inhalers, where is it? It's not here. I get you because I've got COPD. So I do understand. But the one thing that I do practice is breathing. Do you have a salt pipe? I'm sure you said that you did, Mithril. If you don't, I definitely recommend one. And they do help. They really do help. Stool? Stool, L? Wow. Melded as well. Wow. Wow, that's you were underwater. Wow. That's yeah, I almost did. I was choking on sugar. Yeah. I had sugar cravings since I was a kid. I woke up to my sister with a knife. She was going to give me a tracheotomy. Yes, and we are delighted that you came back to us. And Pete, and anybody else who experienced, and Mithril, and anybody else who experienced that, we are glad that you're still here. Obviously, it was not your time. You aren't doing CPR right if you don't crack or break at least a rib. Sorry, guys, I've got a frog in my throat. Wow. So, yeah, that is, yeah, those not past life experiences, but out of body experiences. Those must be so difficult to have. I remember once when I was a kid, I was at my grandma and granddad's, and it was summer holidays, you know, and my parents used to ship us off sometimes to spend time with, they lived in Sheringham in Norfolk, so we were by the beach, so we could, you know, really enjoy our summer. I think my mum and dad just wanted to get rid of us. Near-death experiences. Thank you, Kirsty. I couldn't remember the blooming name. NDE, that's it. I remember one night waking up screaming and crying because I felt that I was floating in this place like static on a TV. I was floating and I couldn't feel anything, and I was clinging onto the duvet with my hands and I couldn't feel anything, as if I wasn't there. But I don't think that was an NDE. I think that was something else. I don't know if I don't think it was astral traveling, because when I've done that in the past, I tend to go backwards and out of the top of my head. So yeah. So that is the purpose of a book of shadows, guys. You can write in it your rituals, you can write in it your intentions, you can dedicate it for yourself, you can you know, the first page of my book of shadows has got a picture in and feathers and, you know, stuff that I collected at the time. I mean, that's called that one. You know, so you can dedicate it, you know. One book of shadows may last you. You may have loads like I have. I mean, those are just 3. There are more on my shelf, and then there are still more smaller ones as well that I use, because I have a little one that I take with me. Like if I'm going to a stone circle, I don't want to take my gigantic thing, so I take a little one and I have a little ritual written in there. You can add in your spells. Now, it's not going to look like the one in Charmed, unfortunately. I wish that it did, and I wish that the pages would just turn over. But I mean, a lot of that in Charmed, it was TV land. I still haven't remembered the name of the other one. Paige, Prue, Piper, and it's doing my head in. Let me Google. Let me Google. Google is your friend. Phoebe. Phoebe, I should have remembered that because I get called Phoebe quite a lot. So, yeah. There's a good book called Life After Life and Life Between Lives as well. I don't know if you've read that one. Are those the ones by Michael Newton, Dr. Michael Newton? Let me know. Starting a drone business, hope it takes off. Phoebe, yes, Chris, we must have looked it up at the same time. It's a cover for a pipe band. Hey, Witchy, did you find out the name of the band you were thinking of the other day? No, I actually sat and listened to over 100 songs, ska songs on a sort of top 100 list. I'm like, I'm just not getting there. It did bring back a whole load of memories, though. I'm going to have to ask my sister. She should remember. So yeah, as soon as I find out what it is, I will post it up on my channel. So, right. I am going to head off, guys. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's little chat. I know it's something different, but you know, we need to talk about different things every now and again. And I've got all this knowledge that I need to pass over to people and, you know, not keep it to myself. So I hope you have a wonderful evening. I will be back tomorrow evening with WTF. And there are quite a few WTF moments that I want to talk about. And so completely different thread to today's, completely different energy. What's the outcome of the poll? Thank you. Yes, I was going to look at that and I forgot. So thank you very much. Oh, goodness, why isn't it opening? So romance, 27%. Action and horror, 18% even, and sci-fi, 36%. So sci-fi wins. Very sad. I can't vote in these. It won't let me vote, but I would have voted. I mean, obviously, I would vote horror. So, yes, I don't know if I'm going to be on any other channel tonight. I don't know if Tan said she was going to go live on a Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think that Regan Elite's going live as well. So yeah, check that out if you want to. And thank you to all the moderators tonight. Thank you to all of you viewers, you wonderful, wonderful people. And to my producer, Chris C. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day tomorrow. Hopefully the weather will be warm still, because balmy 10 degrees here where I was today. And sleep tight. Blessed be. Mwah.